Navy SEAL Trounces Democrat opponent, uses victory speech to bury SNL. Over the weekend, Saturday Night Live took aim at Dan Crenshaw, a former Navy SEAL who lost an eye in Afghanistan. However, the publicity and Crenshaw's classy response to the unwarranted attack only helped to cement his win on Tuesday. After trouncing his Democratic opponent, the newly elected congressman expertly used his victory speech to bury SNL. Dan Crenshaw was on patrol in the Helmand province of Afghanistan in 2012 when an IED blast ripped through his body. Crenshaw, a Navy SEAL, was medically evacuated out of the area and put into a medically-induced coma. When he awoke, he was totally blind. Doctors told Crenshaw he would never see again. And were it not for his decision to undergo risky, experimental treatment, he might not have. Ultimately, Crenshaw regained sight in one eye but lost the other. However, this major physical setback could not stop him. He redeployed. When he finally returned home to Texas, Crenshaw married the woman of his dreams and enrolled at Harvard. At the age of 34, he decided to run for Congress in Texas. And on Tuesday, he sailed to victory against Democrat Todd Litton. While Crenshaw's background ought to elicit only the deepest respect from the public, over the weekend, he was made the butt of an incendiary joke by Saturday Night Live cast member Pete Davidson. Saturday Night Live cast member Pete Davidson mocked the appearance of Republican congressional candidate Dan Crenshaw, a former Navy SEAL who lost his eye in an IED blast in Afghanistan. "This guy is kind of cool, Dan Crenshaw," began Davidson during a Weekend Update segment. A photo of Crenshaw, who wears an eye patch, flashed on the screen, eliciting laughter from Davidson, his fellow cast members and the SNL audience. "You may be surprised to hear he's a congressional candidate for Texas and not a hitman in a porno movie," continued Davidson, who's known for his recently failed relationship with pop star Ariana Grande. Crenshaw responded to the SNL skit, tweeting, "Good rule in life, I try hard not to offend, I try harder not to be offended. That being said, I hope NBC SNL recognizes that vets don't deserve to see their wounds used as heavy check mark Dan Crenshaw text. Good rule in life, I try hard not to offend, I try harder not to be offended. That being said, I hope NBC SNL recognizes that vets don't deserve to see their wounds used as punchlines for bad jokes." The sweetest revenge came on Tuesday, however, when Dan Crenshaw defeated Todd Litton by a wide margin. In his victory speech, Crenshaw put Pete Davidson and SNL in their places, saying, "It's been an interesting last 72 hours for us. People ask us, are you offended? I'm like, I'm from the SEAL teams, we don't really get offended," he said to loud cheers. "But we also like it when comedians are actually funny, you know? Let's get back to that, let's get back to being funny." As Crenshaw noted, so-called comedians seem to have ditched actual comedy in favor of pushing an agenda. Pete Davidson and SNL are only the most recent example. Amy Schumer, Samantha Bee, and Trevor Noah are just a few in a long list of others who have also put partisan politics ahead of their job, which, at the end of the day, is to make people laugh. Imagine if a teacher went into the classroom and refused to teach, or if a nurse walked into the hospital and refused to care for sick patients. They'd be fired in short order, just as anyone else who refused to do the most fundamental aspects of their job would be. Why do these highly paid comedians get to buck the system? Thankfully, Dan Crenshaw came out on top in this ordeal. Please show him your support by sharing this article to help celebrate his win.